Welcome back to the next edition of In Hope. I hope this finds you well and that this word will become a blessing to you, a word of hope. This Sunday, plan to wear red. It is Pentecost Sunday, the day that we remember when the Spirit blew in with fiery flames in and among the disciples who were gathered in Jerusalem. Each Spirit-filled disciple all of a sudden began to speak differently. New language rolled off their tongues as they, with new confidence, share the word of Jesus Christ. Red is the color that we associate with the Spirit's activities, vibrant, consuming, igniting a new turn of events. But today, in between Sundays, in between Jesus' ascension and the Spirit's coming, in between life before the pandemic and life as we are still waiting for it to hold, today, in between, we wait. Yet, in between, faith may seem to recede, almost as something we are having a hard time grasping. Faith may seem like a flimsy tightrope walk rather than a sure-footed bridge we are on, crossing to the other side. As I stand in God's garden, I am reminded of the story of a gardener and what she tells her story of faith. One morning, they were simply there, about 20 seedlings. They were coming up in between the pansies and the zinnias right near her children's swing set. She had not planted them. She didn't know where they came from. And she decided, because they had that magical look about them, she decided not to pull them and treat them as weeds. Rather, she carefully transplanted them and planted them into neat rows and then watered them and watched and waited and watered every day that summer. Green shoots came up, but nothing more. And then, at the end of the summer in mid-August, suddenly new bulbs emerged, and they opened, giving a greeting almost. Sunflowers. She was so thankful that she had taken a chance in faith on these seedlings and had allowed them to thrive and grow. I wonder, is God's faith in us not like this backyard gardener's faith in these sunflower seedlings? While we are in between, sprouting, growing, changing, and waiting for pandemic times to end, will God not send winds of fiery strength to each of us to grow and thrive in between current limitations? The writer of Hebrews in chapter 11, verse 1, shares this. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. I invite us all in these in-between times to try this spiritual practice of faith. I call it an act of faithing, an act of hope. Identify one hope that you have right now and substitute that hope in this Hebrew verse and offer it as a prayer like this. Now faith is the assurance of, you fill in the blank, the conviction of things not seen. Amen. As an example, the word of hope I have this day is courage. So substituting it into the Hebrew verse, I pray, now faith is the assurance of courage, the convictions of things not seen. Amen. You try it, substituting a new word of hope each day this week into that prayer. Or maybe you choose the same word and pray it each day this week. And when you need an extra boost of faith, in these in-between times, practice praying this word of hope. Watch for the Spirit's fiery flames of courage and our gardener's careful tending, and wear red as a sign of God's action in our lives. That's in hope for today. And I charge you, having heard this word of hope, to be hopeful and to share this hope with someone else.